First of all, I'd like to thank God for bringing me to church and to meet all brother and sister here. Last Tuesday, I heard Serey told her sister that my church is a godly people. This is a godly people. I mean that our God children is we act like one. We love one another. We care for each other. That's what I mean by God people. Okay, and I also thank Lord in that He gave me the opportunity and my wife to come up here and give a few kind of detail about ourselves, where we've been, and how we come to God, and how much we love God. Okay, I don't talk about the past. I don't talk about my childhood because I don't have one. Because I am a children of war, that I don't have childhood. And if you talk about the treasure in this earth, it just come and go. I mean, when I was in Cambodia, when the war started, then 1975, I come from a very well-educated family, and the next time I know it, they say, all right, get out of your home, go to the countryside, and I have no longer have a home. I lost my father around maybe 40 years old. So I don't have a childhood, because all the war, the bombing, the fighting, all these sort of things. So I don't have childhood to talk about. The first time that I come to know God, I probably very, very young. Very young, that I not recall where it is, and my mom took me to the place, very bright, a lot of light, a lot of people. And she told me, it's a Noel. I see you all of you probably know what the Noel means. Yes? Christ born.
All right.
Okay. Then the war, that my childhood, the first time I haven't taken my mom. Then over the war have passed. I mean, whatever I've been through, I believe that it's nothing new. That because we all sin, and a lot of us, we pass through that. So it's nothing new. And normally I say to Serey, look, I don't want to talk about the past. Because the past is very painful for me, and as God say to forgive your enemy. Then so I had to pass through all that. So I don't normally want to remind myself about the past, because it's just too much. It's a lot. I mean, if I can open up and talk about my past, it looks like inside the dictionary that I've been everywhere. I know everything. I talking about, I know about starvation, I know how to lost in the jungle, I know how to sleep on a boat by myself, I know to run through the bullet fight, and all these sort of things. So I know everything. So it's nothing new it's nothing new. I believe other people have passed before me, and I don't want to talk about the past. That is my past, how much I know about past. Okay, then I come to God. When I come to the refugee camp, I meet a lot of the missionary. So I went to Bible study a little bit. Because when we live in the camp, it's surrounded by the fence. So you have nowhere access the fence. You just be caged inside, so that to kill your time. When there's a session of the preaching and all that, then we just go there and hang out, as a crowd or listen and to all this. So when I got a chance to leave the camp and around New Zealand, I live with my sponsor. So he's a Catholic, and he also they call born again Christian. So I mean the born again Christian. After I found out that they kind of talk about God more than the priest. So he took me to the church with him, and I live with him. He took me to the church with him. We pray before we, going off to bed and all that. When when I used to live in Cambodia, we just like a frog. You just live in where, where you born. You're not go anywhere. So when I arrived in New Zealand a few years, then I started traveling. So I like to explore the world. I say, look, I've been Cape for so long, so now I have a wing, I fly. So I took off. On 87, I came to Australia. Decided to go for a holiday. So, but then I found out, oh, here very easy to find a job. You can get a job straight away. So I find a job. Then I have connection with a lot of my friends as a missionary, and I go to church every week and spend a lot of time with people who study the Bible and all that sort of thing. Yeah, for 1 year. Then I went back to New Zealand and too quiet, and I come back here again. Then I go to church. I mean, I love God. I go to church. I spend a lot of time with a Christian friend, and we also have the Cambodian diaspora. So a church group where we meet. Sometimes we came to St. Andrew, and sometimes there's another place on Clayton Road somewhere that they're teaching the Bible study for all the priest students. And sometimes we meet at the Kaly College inside the small convent. Yes, and that's that. And after I got married with Serey, we came here. We still go to church, but like Christmas or Easter. Then life start to change. Life start to change because people start to, like my sister-in-law, my brother-in-law, start to come from New Zealand and live with us, and life start to change. Then I start to move away from God. I mean, because maybe it's too much for me, or a lot of problems. Sometimes I don't really understand what that drive me away from God. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. So I don't mean to put a blame on anybody. So it drove me away from God, and I start to involve with a lot of people out there. Like Serey have run a woman group where we're doing a lot of charity, raising money to help people back home and all that sort of thing. But then, in order to do that, all these demons say, oh, you have to work, you work non-stop. I almost kill myself, just work. And Serey work, and after work, have to go and do all this charity. And they all the time expect more and more, but then you don't know that inside your organization is full of demons, and they were corrupted, in which you all the time have to give. But when you give, because you believe that you're children of God, you give without expectation. You don't want to have anything back, you just want to give, and you don't want to have anything back. So you keep work, but at the end, you never satisfied and you're never happy. Because there's something that doesn't matter how much you give, you should not give enough. You cannot make anybody happy because they all the time expect more and more from you. Time, money, and everything. Okay, then it's passed on, and I start become very sick. I got myself very sick that I hurt my back for some reason that my back I hurt very badly that in the morning Serey had to put a sock on for me to go to work. I put an ice pack on my back and keep going to work. Then one day I decided to go for a walk around the block. I walk around the block after St. Andrew and I say to God that, look, I will come back to church. That means I bargain with God, tell God, oh, heal me, then I come back to church. No, I don't bargain with God. I just say to God, look, just give me time, I come back to church. Then yes, I started going back to church by myself. Sometimes I take Serey with me. Sometimes I ask Nathan come to church. Nathan say no, I believe in evolution. That's what I've been told from Nathan. So I going back to church slowly. Then not long, Serey started diagnosed with her cancer. Yes. So they started diagnosed cancer. So all my world collapsed around me. In which I slept and I cried, Serey and after it and all that. So I slept and I cried. But then I believe that I am one of the lost sheep that come back to God. And I know that how much God loved me and maybe He just tried to teach me a lesson and all that. And I like to share the reminder. I mean that the parable of the lost sheep is one of them. And how did you know that God loved? How did you know that God loved you? How do you know that God loves a person is a God, is a child of God? The children of God, they believe in Jesus, that they show they trust Jesus by obeying God's commandment and by loving others. And that's another passage, somewhere in John say that I come back to that. Yeah, so my world is collapse around me. Then Serey started diagnosed with the illness and so on. And after she got baptized, yeah. So and become as a full family. And Nathan slowly, because me and Nathan and Serey going to church and all that, and Nathan slowly, one day come back from uni and say, Mom, I decided to give my life to God.
Wow.
So we come in one full family.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. And also good morning, people watching online. Thank you for the opportunity for both of us to share with you our life account, our journey, and our walk with God. Yeah. Let me just briefly tell you about my life, okay, and how I come to refugee camp, and before the refugee camp, the war and all that, okay. So the war started in 1975 to 79, okay. You have no idea the magnitude of the suffering. It's very barbaric, living condition, people die of starvation, execution, illness and so forth. And family were never together. They separate you according to your age, according to whatever group, your age, and you don't see each other sometimes probably 1 or twice a year when they call National Day or some sort, yeah. And people, they send you to work in the rice field or forest and so forth, and people drop dead just right in front of you. And you would call, I would say, oh, comrade, brother, uncle or auntie, drop dead, you know. And they treat human life like animal. They just put a long metal hook, you know, and then they just put the body because it's in water, you know what I mean? Yeah. And yeah, so, but every time I get a chance to come home, Mom always talk non-stop. Don't you ever trust Angka, that means the clear rule, you know. Whatever we teach you, kindness must stay with you, be resilient, okay? Just don't say too much and so forth, you know, and kindness. My mom, she's one of the amazing women. Even though there's no food, you know, sometimes she's in the hospital, my sister steal food and ran it to give to her. She would share with her neighbor. My sister gets so upset, said, Mom, did you hear the gunshot? It was shot at me because I escaped, you know. She said, if I eat all this, it will just fill my stomach for one day. But if you share with the neighbor, they will have energy to fight another day. That's her principle. All the time, you know, and you know during the war, food is very shortage. People become selfish, you know what I mean? They just look after themselves, their family. Mom was not like that. All the time, and every time I see her, she always remind me, be kind to your neighbor, whoever you can help, you know. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, the war. 5 years was just hell, you know what I mean? I would say hell on earth, you know, yeah. And we used to drink when we get enough to eat, you know. And the other thing we just concerned about being executed, because people who are educated, who are living in the city, they wipe out, they clean, because their policy is by killing all educated people, they have no one is fighting against them, you know what I mean? They brainwash the non-educated one. Some of these comrade leader or whatever, they don't even know how to read and write. They're very illiterate. And sometimes when I was pretty good with my writing and all that, because when I was young, I was ahead of my you know, peer, my kid at my own age. I would pretend to read, and then my brother said, oh, she's brave, she wants to learn. So he started teaching me, send me to school, private tutoring and so forth. So when the war started, I skipped class, I jumped, you know, and I was read and write fluently, yeah. So they took me with them and to take history of people, what you used to do, and such, okay? And they said, we do this because we want to reshape our country. We're going to rebuild our country. We're going to send educated people to rebuild our country. That was not the case. They execute, you know, they send to concentration camp or some sort. And I found out, and I would tell Mom, I would escape and tell Mom, I said, Mom, tomorrow I will go to this village, that village, or such and such. And just spread the word, don't tell the truth, you know, because they're going to execute those people, yeah. So when they said, oh, I used to be professor, doctor, when I write down in the thingy, the history of family, I would say, okay, just selling simple thing in the market and so forth, you know, because they don't know how to read. They will quote all that to another leader, you know what I mean, yeah. So, thanks to Mom, you know, she's teaching me all that, and she said, Angka is not everything, but the way they brainwash the children, that the parents, they're nothing. They just give birth to you, but Angka is one that feed you, educated you, and so forth, you know, that's how the communists work, yeah. You know, our head were tied back 3 times to be executed. And, you know, when my hands tied back, I said, this is it, you know, I looked at my brother and sister, you know, but for some reason, it was not meant to be. I think God saved us, even though we were the sinner, we didn't believe in God at that time. They managed to release us. Another time, the neighbor said, oh, no, I know the family. They were just poor, hungry people. She risked her life lying to the Angka, to the, you know, the Khmer Rouge, in order to save my family, because how much she loved my mom, because the way the generosity, you know, yeah. Yeah. And another time they shipped out from one province to another on a train, and then took us to in the middle of nowhere jungle. And we saw only a few families said this is it, you know. Why would they leave us in the middle of nowhere? A few hours later, we heard the ox cart, you know, the bell. Yeah, they took us to the village. Yeah. I was amazed, you know, the value my mom taught me, you know, the power of love. I would run, escape, and then bring food to my brother and all that, you know, in the middle of nowhere and only by myself because of love. And he, you know, my youngest brother, he was only 5. You know, his body was swelled up so bad he could not wear clothes. Sorry, and his genital was full of water. And I was so scared to get in. I would scream. I said, brother, I call his name. Is that, are you in there? And he's scared. He thought I was a ghost. He didn't answer me. Pitch dark. And he said, yes, sister, is that you? When I went inside, I tried to find the burner. You know, they made from some sort of tree oil or some sort, you know. So I saw his body look so yellow and swell up, you know, his face was puffy and he didn't wear anything, just a thin blanket. And I said to him, they give you medicine? He said, yeah, the medicine made from the rice, you know, yeah, what is it? Yeah, the product of rice, you know, but the byproduct, yeah. And they inject me with the coconut water. Yeah. And I thought this may be the last time I see him because he was so bad, you know what I mean? Yeah. And then I said, oh, sorry, brother. So I put my hand, and his genital was on my hand. I could see the water, you know, yeah. I just cried, and I said, brother, I had to go back, otherwise they would find out that I escaped, you know, yeah. And I ran about, 2.5 hours, you know, each way, yeah, by myself, you know, rice field, jungle, and I see demon, ghosts, and all that. And then I said, okay, if I close my eye, I won't see any of that. Okay, and then I opened my eye, they were still there, they're running in front of me. 4 little boys, with no clothes, carried the stretcher, you know, because a lot of soldiers died in that area. Yeah, I said, I do this for my brother. It's love, the power of love, you know, and I just keep running. Yeah. Okay, and not for long, the word passed that my brother died. Yeah, I said, okay, he's suffering, you know, and yeah. We were never together, but for some reason God brought us together when the war finished, and there was a lot of fighting. So I would run from my path, my commune, and try to find my sister. Yeah. And while running, it was at night. The bomb dropped at the what do you call that?
The store where they store the weapons.
Yeah, where they store all the ammunition and bomb and all that. So when the bomb dropped there, of course it explodes. You know, like this, like firewood, and half of the sky is on fire. You know, yeah. People running everywhere, injured, and people would die on the side of the street and so forth. And I said, okay, I can't stop. I have to keep running. My leg was about to give up, you know. I couldn't feel my leg. My body's like, my head is here, my leg's there. And I said, no, I cannot give up. I have to find my sister, keep running until the morning. Yeah, couldn't find my sister. So along the road, there's a lot of people dying. So I would keep open the sheet, you know. Okay, that's not her, that's not my brother, so forth, you know what I mean? Yeah. So it took several hours, yeah, to find my brother and sister, yeah. And also because of kindness that instilled in us, we were trapped, you know. We were trapped in the battlefield for one night. And in the morning, the car, the truck, you know, the Vietnamese soldier came and put people on the truck, and they take it to safe place. But the family that we were with, she was pregnant, nearly term, and she had elderly mother. I said to my sister, let's go, because people are going, get on the truck, we need to leave. She said, oh, we can't go because Sister Chu, that's the name of the lady that was almost term. She's pregnant, she need to eat, and the elderly mother, she need food. I said, are you sure? I keep aging because I see people running on the truck, because it's freedom, you know what I mean? The Vietnamese come and freeze, as they fight with the Khmer Rouge, and we were trapped in the battlefield for one night already, I see soldier injured and swung the arm and then, and all that. And my sister said no. About 2.5 hours later, the Khmer Rouge came back. There were about 10 of them, and they were not that old. They were just about 10, 15 years old with gun, pointed gun, go with us, yeah. So instead of free ourselves, we were stuck another 5 months. They keep chasing us to the mountain. No food, no anything, stuck with them there. And I blame my sister. I keep saying, I said, see, your kindness keep us trapped in here, yeah. And she couldn't say anything. Life was hard. And then they decide to escape, okay? I don't know how many families, and they walked through the night. My brother and I, we were arguing because we had nothing to eat and we were tired and all that. And then my sister said, don't argue, I will pass out any minute. The minute she said that, she was collapsed on the ground, unconscious. And my brother and I said, sister, come back to life, we probably not going to argue ever again, And when she gained consciousness, she said, I'm thirsty, I want water. Where can I find water? And I begged people that we were with in the group, I said, please stay with me because my sister is unconscious. No one stayed with us. Only my brother was so young, and my sister in the middle of nowhere, pitch black. So I said to brother, stay with sister, I go and find water. And I managed to find some water, and I saw buffalo skeleton there, here, there, I said, at the time, I believe in Buddhism, I prayed to Buddhists, I said, let me find water, blah, 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 yeah. So I pour on her, and then I said, we need to keep moving, so we start walking. You see, the family that we stuck and we thought of her welfare and everything, at the end, they didn't stay with us, They left Serey, just me, my sister, my brother, in the middle of nowhere. Even though I cried, I begged, I said I would give everything that I had in my, belongings. They said, no, we don't want anything here. So when my sister gained consciousness, we keep walking here, and we just walk. But again, I think God, was saving us from all that, Okay, then live in the Phnom Penh for a little while, and when we make our trip, people said, where have you been? Because we had freedom for 5 months now, and you still in red clothes, We explained to them, So live in and then we came to Phnom Penh. My sister didn't want to say Phnom Penh. She went to Province to want to find my sister and found out that my sister died only a few months before the freedom, before the Vietnamese army took over. Then she said, there's no future. I have to come back to the city to find a job. Okay, she left me and my brother with people in the province again. And then she sent word, said, come back. And I was always walking, you know what I mean? Walk. When we lived in the city, I came to reunited with my sister for a little while. She said, I need to go and find future for all of us. If I die, I die, and at least 2 of you remain and carry family name. So she left me again, and she came to refugee camp, in border of Cambodia and Thailand. And it was tough because my brother was very rebel, he didn't have anything to eat, and he started stealing from the shop and the market and so forth. He didn't want to go to school, and and people always say, oh, your brother, he's a sick, blah, 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 and I cry and I bit my tongue, and then at night time, and sometimes I grab them and said, come and have shower, I scrub them because they look red, they look dirty and all that. Okay, so word came sent to lady said, my sister said, come and united with me, I'm in the refugee camp. And she said, don't tell anyone, you know. So, okay, I said to my brother, we need to go, we need to be with our sister. We have no family here in Phnom Penh, and they treat us bad anyway, you know, like slave. And then I left with the lady. Walk again. We ride only a few kilometers and we walk from the Phnom Penh to border of Thailand refugee camp. Yeah. And it's tough because they still put mine, you know. So you need to be really careful. And yeah, mines on the ground. And but they have like a guy, you know, a person that know the way, and he take gold, you know. Yeah. And the lady that I was with, she was very generous. My sister didn't have any money, any gold, but she said to me, if I don't find your sister, I will adopt both of you because you are an amazing kid, you know. She said that. Yeah. So on the way to the camp, suddenly it was so quiet, and my brother, who was here with me now, he had whooping cough. People would shout, "Stop your brother! If you hit cough like that, we all gonna die." You know? Yeah. How could you stop them? Because the whooping coughs are very productive. Just come. And I would run and put my hand out on his mouth, you know what I mean? Yeah. Suddenly, boom! The bomb exploded. People were running like this, you know? Yeah. And I was separated from the lady that was supposed to take me to my sister. And I was with the elderly couple. Both of them were kind, said, okay, you can stay with me. And I said, auntie, uncle, can my brother sleep on your, cot, you know? And she said, yeah. So in the morning, I traveled with her, and the lady that know my sister, her name is Nee. She looked for me, and my brother, I looked for her, and we got to the camp, and I found her. But I said to my brother, stay, don't go anywhere. My brother is a wandering boy, you know, excited. We see soldier cleaning gun and this and that, and then he didn't stay there. He wandered off. So when I come back to this place, I couldn't find him here. Okay, she said we stay here for 2. When I found my brother, and then we find accommodation. She bought us food and so forth. She said we stay here for 2 nights, and there's a guy to take us to the camp where your sister lived. Okay, another escape. So then at night time. And they put bomb along the border, the wide, you know, the gate here. But there is particular spot that the person that lead us know. Yeah. We made escape around about 3 a.m. in the morning, I think, because the Thai soldier they do ship something there. They have 15 something into some sort. Yeah. Okay, got refugee camp. It was a shock to my system. I didn't expect the camp to look like that and so forth, but at least I'm with my sister, you know, yeah. We stayed there for 2 years, and then got sponsored to New Zealand, yeah. It was difficult because my sister family didn't treat us well, you know, yeah. They want us to have, you know, money and so forth, and there's word said, oh, as soon as you arrive in New Zealand, your brother-in-law is going to divorce your sister, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. I said, doesn't matter, as long as we could come out from refugee camp here. Okay, so came to New Zealand. It's just a challenge. Language, culture, and everything, you know. And then life under my sister-in-law family was really hard. They treat me like a slave or Cinderella, never enough. You know? And I was an honest kid, yeah. So, but it's okay. Even though it's hard, at least it's not like the war. I was not scared of being executed and so forth. I worked very hard at school. I do double the work, you know. If they spend an hour, I would spend 3 hours on the task learning because English is not my language, you know what I mean? Yeah. So within 6 months, they did a speech competition. I raised up my hand. I said, I want to do it. My teacher said, She goes, you know. She said, what are you going to talk about? I said, I'm going to talk, this is my life. I was a child so old. So I practice, I write. And then my auntie, she correct my grammar. And every time I practice, she just howled, you know, cry and cry. She said, Serey, it's unbelievable, your life account. I said, Auntie, I don't even put half of the thing in there, you know? Yeah. So we compete from class to class, and from area they have green, gold, and red. And then I won the in my area, the gold. Then we did an assembly. They had to sell ticket. I could see they advertised quite well, the assembly full of people, parents and students, you know. Yeah. Everybody was crying, and at the end they said, amazing, dear one, you know, how could you put up, how could you go through with, you know, such life and being so resilient, you know, yeah. I didn't came first, I came second because of the microphone was not, you know, some people could not hear at the back, yeah. So that was my first award, you know, yeah, and the principal was very proud, the teacher and all that, yeah. And I said, okay, this is hope. Education is my way, you know, to get out from all this mess, you know, and from the family. But my sister, she adored her husband, and even though they mistreat her, she would ask me to put up, you know, do so much. 4 a.m. in the morning, I would get up and wash the nappy, you know, the cloth nappy. And she said, don't you dare use hot water because it's expensive. And you know how cold it is in winter in New Zealand. And the nappy stain is not easy, you know. So I said, okay, I must not lie. I will have sinned, right? If I would have turned on hot water, she wouldn't know because they all in bed, you know what I mean? Yeah. But and then after my sister divorced, there was freedom. I said, oh, I need to leave school so to support my family. But the high school I went to, they said no. We're going to raise money and then for you to finish high school because you are very intelligent, you're doing well. If you leave school now, how much you will earn, right? A few dollars. So they read my poetry, they read my speech from the primary school and all that, and they raise a lot of money. So my brother and I didn't have to pay the fee, you know, and they buy stationery and they bought a bicycle, and I would find part-time job, and then they find a housing commission, what you call it here? It's a government, yeah. Yeah, that's right, and it's a lot cheaper. By then, my sister and her husband divorced, and she was longing for her husband to come back, knock at the door. I said, he's not going to come back, sister. You know, accepted because he's not very kind man. He mistreat you, he abuse you, he such and such, he put you down such and such. And I think because he was her first love, you know. And then she blamed me, said, the reason that my divorce is because of you, both of you. Because he had to work hard and look after you. I thought to myself, that was not the case. I worked my butt off as well, you know. I worked very hard and I did everything. I washed his clothes and washed his auntie and everything, you know, and yeah. But what can you do? Because you're the sister, you know, yeah. After the war, I said, I need to do something about my family. I need to lift her up, raise her up, because then she won't feel down because her husband put her down that she's the most ugly woman alive, you know. That's why he had to leave her. She doesn't know how to dress this and that. I work so hard and I would go to shop, buy fabric and then have the clothes made. And when they have function, I said, sister, you go. She started to change. She's a beautiful woman. And then words going to say, oh, because she dressed like that, that's why her husband left her. Then she would come home and tell me blah, 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 blah. I said, sister, no matter what we do, they never satisfy. Remember, we were suffering, now it's your freedom. We need to do what we need to do, okay? We didn't hurt anybody, harm anybody, yeah. I start to build up bit by bit, yeah. That's like New Zealand, yeah. By then, I start to go to Glen David Baptist Church. I really enjoy going there. So my brother and my sister were baptized, but I was not just yet, yeah. And my sister have Beverly who come and give her Bible study. My sister loved God, you know, from the camp, yeah. But then I drift away when I went to lab technology training and all that. I did bit by bit. And when I got married, I came here. I start to have run the charity group, and a lot of them, they go to temple. And I thought to myself, well, mom's body, dad's Christian, so maybe one of us had to be Buddhist, just to carry on, which is so very silly of me. Yeah. But as Kaly said, work. I have my political group, I have my charity group, I work full time and Nathan and everything. There was no time left for me at all. But I like to do that because I need to carry on my mom legacy. She's a very giving person and she teach me all the time to give. I said, as I grow up, I haven't get a chance to pay my respect to mom. So this is what I can do, give it back to the poor. Such and such and such, and always work. And I would try anywhere. They said, Serey, we've got a donation for you. In the rain, I would drop everything. I said, honey, cook for yourself, okay? I have to go. I would go. And then they said, no, only if Serey come, we will give the donation. I said, anyone can go and pick up the donation, not need to be Serey, yeah. So I would take Nathan with me and then get lost and dry the map up, read the map upside down, blah, 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 yeah, all sorts, yeah. In the name of charity, yeah. And I did that right until I was diagnosed. 2015, yeah, 2015, November, yeah. They said to me, when I had pain in my rib, they said to me, oh, a fracture rib, I had a nuclear scan with contrast. They said 3 area red spot on your rib, 6, 7, 8. And they said to me, it's very painful, yeah. Put up with it. And I asked people, they said, okay, 1 rib takes 3 months, so 3 take 9 months. I was counting the months, but then it was not the case. It spread everywhere in my body. I could not do my shoelace, I could not bend, I sleep vertical and with heat pack. And it's still going to work. I don't take time off because I said, well, if I stay home, I'll still have pain anyway, so might as well go to work, Sometimes at work when I call a sneeze, I would be on the floor and my colleague would help me up and then we go to emergency, they gave me morphine for a few hours and then got better, drive home. So it continued. But one of my colleagues said, Serey, I'm concerned because you're in a lot of pain. Why don't you see my GP? I took her advice. I went to see GP. The GP said, I'm quite concerned, Serey. Why don't I send you to CT scan? I was Saturday and that imaging in Springvale, they closed at 12:30. 12 o'clock he called, he said, leave some of your stuff, I'm sending this young lady, I'm concerned about her pain level. So they did that. I had to scan Saturday. On Monday the phone call. And Monday I was at the Kingston Center. They do barium meal test some sort of, I had to wear a lead jacket, it was heavy. I said to the doctor, I cannot wear the jacket, it's heavy and I'm in pain. He said, in that case, why don't you stay in another room, just leave the door open a little bit so you can still talk, she can still hear you. So when that session finished, the phone call came from GP, said, the GP need to see you to come and get a letter. I knew immediately was something's not normal, And I said, oh, can I finish the day's work? She said, it's not important anymore, Serey, just come. Yeah. So immediately I knew it was something not normal and I'm concerned about driving, but I went anyway. So he said, when I got there, he said, sit down. He turned the screen, he said, read it, because he knew my background from the lab, okay, and work as medical interpreter. He said, do you understand all that? I said, yeah, but it was too much, they measure such and such and such, the fracture, it's just everywhere, in my body, my spine. I said, yes, I do understand all that. He said, okay, what you need to do is get this letter, take this letter to ED, and they will manage your diagnosis, your pain from there onward, your treatment from there onward. I called my manager, I was in tears, and he said, oh, Serey, I'm so sorry. He said, do what you need to do, keep me posted. I got home, I called my sister, because I knew I couldn't leave the car in ED emergency, so she came and took me there. By the time I got to ED, I couldn't walk, the pain was just worst of the worst, So they admit me, they give me pain killer and so forth. They said, okay, someone will call you and then we'll talk about treatment clinic and so forth. Couldn't wait. 2 days after I went back, and then they admit me. When I was admitted, I was already dead, 95%, because they took the, the bone marrow aspirin, you know. And the boss of the department, Dr. Stephen Opiate, said, Serey, 1 meal of your bone marrow contains 95% of myeloma cell. And when they have family meeting, they prepared my family that we could lose Serey any week, any day, you know, because sometimes they have family meeting, they took me and put me in a wheelchair. All the time they just meeting, you know, yeah. They have family meeting almost every day to update the family what, you know, my condition, and they still do year 12, you know what I mean, right in the middle, yeah. I thought to myself, I didn't think of myself, I said, I don't mind dying, but what about my son? How is he going to cope, you know, at this age and then right in the middle, yeah. So they said, okay, we're going to do this and that. The pain was unbearable. They could not manage the pain, you know. And Dr. Opiate said, okay, we're going to give you chemo, blah, blah, okay. Even though they give me chemo, the pain was not better until they brought in the pain specialist. He's world-renowned, Dr. Leroy. He's best of the best. I'm grateful for that, you know. I think God just bring those people that expert in their field, you know, yeah. And several times, I couldn't talk, I just say goodbye to the nurses. And so often I have, heartburn, it's like heart attack. And they brought medical emergency, the cardiology and all that, you know, yeah. Okay, so I had chemo, radiotherapy, and surgery all at the same time because the team were arguing. If you have surgery, it's not going to heal, right? The orthopedic team said, if you don't do surgery, she's going to fracture her hip, she's going to be on wheelchair, or blah, 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 blah. So at the end, the orthopedic team won, and I had surgery. I had the titanium rod put in about, 40 centimeters, yeah, 6 screws. And then radiotherapy every morning, and chemo every week, every 3 days, yeah. Okay. Several months and came home, and then after a little while, I still have an appointment. They said, you need to have stem cell transplant at the outlet. Bring it on because I want to live my son, you know. Stem cell transplant is another thing. It almost took my life. Really hard. You're not able to eat, drink, you know, diarrhea, vomiting all the time. You're not able to eat home cooked food. You have to eat the hospital food, and you have to be in a secluded place because they don't want any germ, you know, yeah. And I want to kill myself because it was so hard. I was so weak, I could even pull blanket to cover myself, you know. Kaly was so stressed out, he was still working. I was not able to see my son, you know, and all that, and I thought, I was there for a week, wasn't I? Yeah. So one particular night, Kaly was with me, and my blood pressure plunged down to a very dangerous level. They called a medical emergency 3 times, but toward the morning it was real. They said, you know, I couldn't talk to them, ask questions, but I could still hear what they're talking. They said, if we don't take her to ICU, she will die. Not at this level. She will die. Not one of the female doctors just raised her voice, you know, she wanted to win some of her colleagues. So they decided to take me, and Kaly left home already. It was 4 o'clock or 4:15. You know, it's like, just like in a movie, how they put you on a bed and they run, and you could hear the click, 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 and the light, you know. I was very conscious, but I said, uh-oh. That time, I said, Lord, I started bargaining with him. I said, Lord, I know you're real, so please let me live until the morning to see my beloved husband and son, you know. I said, you need to let me live, you know. I don't ask much. He did just that. The morning, they got the phone, the morning the phone call went to Kaly, and yeah. So I was in ICU for 3 days, and they used practically all the way that they can access, you know, my ankle, my arm, everything. I was not able to get up, you know. I did all my bowel and my number 1, number 2 in bed, blah, blah, blah. So after 3 days in ICU, they transferred me to the ward one night. I begged to be discharged. they said, no, 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 you were very sick. I said, no, I'm better because I can't sleep. Because they did not put me in a single room anymore. I was sharing the room with another gentleman. And I couldn't eat. Because he kept using, the commode chair just there. And every time the dinner time, he did it number 2. And he said, his name John, sorry, Serey, sorry. And I was already sick, and they said to me, Serey, you need to eat to keep up your nutrient, And because back then they stopped giving me food through my neckline, I had the Hicksman line, they give me 2.5 kg of food supplement through that, yeah. But he kept doing it so often, he said, sorry, Serey, and then I said, I need to leave, I can't sleep, I can't eat, yeah. But the day after, I begged again, and he said, but when you go home, you by yourself? I said, no, my brother can be with me during the day. My brother, then they discharged me to the lounge room. He said, Serey, get up, walk, Serey, get up, walk, because they're not going to let you go, you're weak, you could hardly stand up. So, every so often I walk, and so they could see you, because near the news station. From the morning, they discharged me at 6:30, yeah. So by then, I said, okay, God, you granted my life, I got through. So I'm going to keep my promise. I start praying, read the Bible, during the day I'm by myself, and by the time I lost all my hair. And for several weeks, the hair didn't grow back. And one of the doctor, the registrar, at the ICU said to me, oh, my father-in-law, he lost his hair and it didn't grow back. I thought to myself, that's not very nice to say that. That's not even giving me anything, And then Kaly decided to shave it again, yeah. So during the day I'm by myself, I would sit and read Bible outside, and a few times I lie in my bed and I see Jesus' face up on the ceiling, pop, like something. I said, what is this, Lord? Is this some sign that you are here with me? And, and things like that, yeah. So I start to pray, and then my sister prayed, and then she put the cross in my room. She said, Serey, you need to turn back to God. Only God can help you. Then I start to baptize, at the Endeavor Hill Church, where my auntie, Then we start going to St. Andrew Church, Kaly, and I said to him, it's too early. He said, no, I like that because it's make the day longer. I can do lots of things, That's him. Because somehow I start to go to sleep, right? Yeah. But we were lonely. We tried to fit in by joining when they have function, dinner, and so forth, and he even donate his time, but we were still lonely, you know what I mean? And I feel so sad, and I said, I need to find a church that I can put in and feel like family, like when I was in New Zealand, until the day that I knocked at the door, and never regret. I should have done that a long, long time ago, So what I like to wrap up that I have been given second chance so many times, to life, and I cannot count, countless times. The time that I wanted to take my own life in New Zealand, I walk into the sea where the water up to here, and I go deeper, and I thought to myself, why do it now? During the war, you love life, you eat anything, you try to hang on to dear life, okay? And back in 2017, and during the war, when they tied our hands for us to be executed and all that, So, and last year when I was very sick, I had doubt, and I begged God, said, Lord, I need to go, take me the suffering to when that mass, appeared on my shoulder. But it was Mason. He said, Mom, you said to me you love God, you trust God. I said, yes, son, with all my heart, with all my might, with every being, with everything, you have no word. I cannot explain. And he said, if you trust God, you love Him, you have to trust Him, even though He doesn't answer your prayer. But you know that He walks with you through whatever, Mom. Every day after you leave, He will come and sit with me. Nathan and I, we are very, very close. We are best friends, you know what I mean? he tell me anything, everything, because when he was young, I used to say to him, I don't want only to be your mother, but I want to be your friend. He said, Mom, best friend? I said, yes. And then when he talked too much about his friend, I said, I don't want to hear all that about his son. He said, no, Mom, you are best friend, and you know what best friend means. You need to hear anything that I need to share with you. So that's what he's like, you know. Yeah, so saying to him, he remind me to love God, to trust God, remove all doubt, Mom, remove all doubt. And when I don't understand anything, I would go and ask him, you know. And he installs things on my app, and I can find questions, I can find answers, and so forth. And I've been praying, you know, for Nathan for 2 years, for him to give his life to God. And I told my friend at the Monash Health, she's a pharmacist, I said, Shirley, I've been praying, nothing happened. She said to me, Serey, be patient and God's timing. And like Kaly said, one day he came home, he said, Mom, I want to give my life to God. It was just the joy of my life. It's like more than winning any money in the world. And yesterday I told Kaly, I said, if anything happened for me now, I'm happy because Nathan walked with God. He loved God, you know. He loved God with all his might, with all his being. He's just amazing. And he's so good and caring and giving, very loving, you know, yeah. And sometimes he have issue and he would tell me, I said to him, Sam, even though you have to stand in the line by yourself, you know that you're doing the right thing by God, okay? Be it, you know, you don't need to be popular. All you need to do is, you need to do the right thing by God. And now sometimes you question that, what would Jesus do? You say this, you know? Yeah. And then he will answer and say, oh, Jesus would do this. I said, you're talking to yourself again, yeah. So, God is amazing. God is beautiful. God is wonderful. How he lift up my life, you know, and my family, you know. And as I said, the number of times that I was supposed to die, you know, through whatever, uncomfortable, and he still bless me and give me, you know, strength, and I'm still able to work, you know. A lot of people in my condition, my nurse from palliative care team said, they don't even do a few hours a week, you know. They don't even work, let alone do, and they don't even have treatment. I said, I need to work. I don't know how not to work, because I was always working, you know, from a very young age, you know, and I'm the middle one in the family. But in terms of decision making, everything when we were young, you know, in New Zealand, that it was me running around, do everything, you know, this, that. So anything goes wrong, I get blamed as well. Yeah. My brother doesn't do half of what I've done, and he was always right. If I don't ask or say anything, you know, this and that. But I think my mom teach me to be humble, to be kind, to be patient. And as a younger sister, I have to always bow down to my sister. Even though I'm wrong, I cannot justify with her, oh, you're wrong with this, you that, you know. So now that I believe in God, I said, okay, accept and just try another way to tell her such and such and such in a gentle way and say, oh God, this, that, you know, sister, you know, yeah. Sometimes it was too much, I would complain to Kaly. And Kaly, he doesn't support me, he would say, well, she's old, you know, so you need to give in, you need to give her more love, more this. I said, I give it all that, but I think God will help me to overcome that, you know. I mean, throughout my life, the abuse, the verbal abuse, the put down, everything, you have no idea. They said I'm the most ugly girl in the family, and I was not a real daughter, I was adopted, right, and so forth. And there's certain color I could not wear, but when I got married, I said, oh, this guy's nice, easy, gentle. He's not going to criticize me with what I'm wearing, you know. So I started wearing bright color and so forth, yeah. But I think God blessed me, give Kaly, said, I need to marry this guy. Because if I would have married somebody else, they wouldn't last with me. Because I'm very hot tempered as well, I'm very impatient. If I say, pass me that, if within second it's not in my hand, I would jump, you know? And he would say, oh, come on, you just ask. I said, well, just that's me, you know? But he's very patient, he's very giving, he's very caring. And with my family too, he gives, you know? But his time, his money, and he cares. And he asked me not to brag on like this kind to my, he get upset. You don't need to show off, you don't need to tell your sister about, I did this, I did that. I said, but she needs to know, She said, no, I don't want to do, I like to do things behind the scene, that's who he is, And Nathan's the same. He said, Mom, if you advertise, you post my degree, whatever, on Facebook, I will not talk to you. That both of them the same. Yeah. So thank God that these two wonderful men in my life, and we are very close and very united, and we love God, and sometimes we talk about God and all that. Yeah, and whatever time left in my life, I'm satisfied. I've been through a lot. The happy time is hardly any, even though after I got married, Yeah, I mean, my brother came and lived with me, my sister came and lived with me. After several months, there was arguing, they're not talking to me for 10 years, and my brother and my sister too. But I was the one that peacemaker, go and make peace. Even though she didn't want to talk to me, but I said, if I keep going, bit by bit, she will calm down, and just accept whatever her winking, blah, 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 yeah. But there's something that I stood up when somebody accused somebody of wrong thing, very bad, like my sister accused my husband, Then I stood up, I said, he's not like that. The reason I married him because he's kind, caring, giving, even though he doesn't have the look, the money, whatever, but I go for that because, before I married him, I went to consult all my high school teachers. I said, I don't know what to do. He's a nice guy, but I don't love him, but I like him very much. Mr. Jeremy James, my biology teacher, said, so I take a piece of paper and divide it into two. What's good thing about him, what not so good about him, then come back to me. Then I went back to him, there was nothing on the not good, It's blank. He said, give it to me. Oh, he got all this good point. And then he said to me, look with eyes down, character in a person, Serey. If he can be your friend, your soulmate, your partner in life, it will last, Serey, it will last. Believe me. Yeah, it was him, Jeremy James. Yeah. So I said, okay, yeah, I give it a shot. Yeah, I give it a shot. And I'm not regret one bit, you know what I mean? Yeah. And he's so proud.
Yeah, I would like to share my last
Thank you.
From 1 John 4 and 5. The faith is
Conquer the
world.
Conquer the world.
Yeah. Everyone who believes
that
Jesus is Christ has been born of God, and everyone who loves the parent and love their children by this, we know that we love the children of God, and when we love God, we obey His commandment. For the love of God is this, that we obey the commandment, and His commandment are not
burdensome.
For whatever is the born of God, the conquer the world. This is the victory of the conquer of the world and faith. Who is that conquer the world? But is the one who believes that Jesus is the Son of God. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, thank you all for allowing us to share our life.